Hey guys, welcome back to the only channel where you can fall asleep faster than a Wi-Fi connection during a thunderstorm. Tonight, we're heading somewhere even more mysterious than your high school group chat, deep into the heart of a cosmic nursery to figure out how stars are born. And trust me, this is nothing like the hospital where you were born, unless your delivery room was 263 degrees and full of hydrogen gas with a side of gravity-induced existential crisis. Out here, there's no doctor, no soothing playlist, just the gentle whisper of physics and enough floating dust to give even your Roomba an anxiety attack. If you've ever wondered what it would feel like to wake up inside a collapsing cloud of interstellar gas, congratulations. You probably need more hobbies, but you're also in the right place. Because tonight, we're not just stargazing, we're eavesdropping on the universe's most dramatic delivery room. Spoiler, there's more gas, glowing, and chaos than at your last family reunion. But before we start spinning out of control, do me a favor. If this video actually helps you drift off, or if you just enjoy learning why the universe is basically one giant, unsupervised group project, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment your weirdest cosmic thought down below. Or don't. I'm not here to pressure you. This is a safe space for sleep, science, and people who still don't know how to fold a fitted sheet. Now, dim the lights, put on a fan, unless you're already cold, in which case, just wrap up in a blanket and pretend it's a nebula. Get as comfortable as humanly possible for someone floating through the vacuum of space. Let your mind wander. Wonder what it would feel like to be compressed into a star. Would your childhood trauma finally become plasma? Would you spin faster if you were caffeinated hydrogen? Would you glow brighter if someone from your past texted, "Hey," at 2 a.m.? Get ready, because tonight, you're about to wake up in the middle of a cosmic cloud, and out here, there's only one rule. No one can hear you scream, but they'll definitely see you shine. Tonight, you wake up not in your bed, but somewhere stranger, a vast cosmic waiting room where stars are literally lining up to be born. No one here has filled out paperwork. There are no vending machines, only endless clouds of dust and gas swirling around like the universe's most dramatic gender reveal party. And don't worry, you're not in labor unless you count existential dread. Let's take a look around. The first thing you notice is the silence. Not the comforting, "I can finally hear myself think" kind of silence, but the sort of silence where even your thoughts echo back at you with a sarcastic, "Nice pajamas." Out here, there's no hum of air conditioning, no distant sound of someone reheating leftovers at 2 a.m. The only thing moving is the foggy swirl of hydrogen and helium, drifting endlessly in the dark. It's colder than your ex's text replies. Every breath you take freezes instantly, except you can't actually breathe, which is probably for the best. No one wants to be the first person to snore in the nebula. Everything is made of clouds here, thick, endless curtains of cosmic dust and gas stretching as far as you can see, all painted in soft pastels by distant, ancient light. It's beautiful and slightly intimidating, like stumbling into a yoga class for celestial bodies and realizing you're the only one who didn't bring a mat. You're not alone either. All around, you can sense the presence of something. Maybe it's just your mind playing tricks, or maybe it's the beginning of new stars, already dreaming in their cribs of gas and dust. You drift. There's no up or down, no right or left, just the infinite in every direction. Occasionally, a faint glimmer appears in the distance, the way hope appears after you finally find your phone charger. Are those other people? Other protostars? No, just more clouds, endlessly collapsing and expanding, moving so slowly you feel like you've stepped into the universe's most confusing queue. There's no receptionist here, no soothing jazz music on loop, just the eternal hush of particles bumping into each other, gently, over millions of years. In the stellar maternity ward, no one rushes, time itself stretches and yawns, then falls asleep again. You realize that waiting is what the cosmos does best, whether it's for a star to ignite or for your phone to finish a software update. At first, you think you should be doing something, maybe trying to blend in, or or at least making small talk with a passing dust cloud. But you remember, you are in space now, and space is nothing if not deeply, almost aggressively, indifferent to your need for validation. There's comfort in that. No one here cares about your resume or your astrological sign. All are equal in the eyes of the universe. You, the clouds, the future stars, and that one lonely chunk of ice drifting by like it took the wrong turn at Pluto. As you settle in, you start to notice the textures around you. Some parts of the cloud are dense and cold, others thin and shimmering, like cosmic silk. Somewhere far away, a wave of radiation brushes past, stirring up flecks of starlight and distant echoes of old supernovae. It's all so quiet, so peaceful, so slow. If you could listen close enough, you might hear the gentle shh of the universe telling you to relax, let go, and just exist for a little while. And here, in this endless, impossible nursery, you begin to wonder, what will it feel like to be born as a star? Would you arrive with your taxes already late? Would you glow brighter if you finally dealt with your emotional baggage? Would you miss your alarm clock? Or does gravity always make sure you're on time? No one knows. But tonight, you get to wait and wonder, drifting softly at the edge of creation, one tiny piece of cosmic potential among billions, floating in the stellar maternity ward, where everything is possible and nothing is expected of you except, maybe, to shine. Let's talk about silence, cosmic style. In this segment, you find yourself drifting through a frigid cloud made of hydrogen molecules and stardust. Think of it as the ultimate weighted blanket, minus the anxiety. There's nothing to hear except your own thoughts and maybe the faint sound of your group chat notifications echoing across interstellar space. Time has different rules here. You're floating, really floating, in every direction at once. There's no floor, no ceiling, no sense of here versus there. If you try to look down at your feet, you realize you might not even have feet anymore. You're just part of the mist, hanging out at 263 degrees Celsius, which is the kind of temperature where even your complaints would freeze mid-sentence. At least you don't have to worry about being late for anything time barely moves. And honestly, nobody's keeping score. Around you, the cloud is dense, dark, and oddly soft, like someone spilled 1 trillion pounds of dry shampoo into the void. It's not empty though, and ascend by bass s, ril bass. You're surrounded by trillions of hydrogen molecules, each one so bored it's been waiting for a good collision for about 10 million years. Some of these particles have been here since before Earth even existed, just vibing, waiting for something interesting to happen. You can relate. Every so often, a stray photon zips through, lighting up a wisp of dust like the world's slowest disco ball. You get flashes of faint, far-off color purple, blue, deep red. Mostly, though, it's just dark. If you squint, you might see a pale shadow, the outline of a future star, quietly assembling itself one atom at a time. No one's in a hurry. Here, patience isn't a virtue, it's the only option. It's so quiet, you start to hear things that aren't there. Maybe it's your own inner monologue. Maybe it's the whisper of an electron as it lazily drifts past, wondering if it left the oven on. You catch yourself thinking about old errands, unfinished projects, and what you might order for lunch if, food existed. Welcome to the molecular cloud, where your worries dissolve into interstellar fog. Touch is different here too. There's no wind, no cold snap, just the sensation of being wrapped in cosmic cotton. If you reach out, your hand, or whatever you have instead of a hand right now, would pass straight through the dust, gathering up nothing but the faintest trace of primordial chemistry. You are weightless, but the blanket around you is heavy, so heavy that, if you listen closely, you might feel the distant pull of gravity starting to build, the way you feel a nap coming on after a big lunch. Occasionally, a shockwave from a distant supernova rattles the cloud, just enough to jostle the dust. You don't panic though. If anything, you welcome the change. Out here, excitement is measured in centuries. There are no deadlines, only lifelines long, winding trails of molecules, coiling and gathering, biding their time. Sometimes you wonder what it would feel like to be the first to wake up. Would you remember this stillness, this endless, sleepy hush? Or would it fade away the moment the chaos of creation begins? For now, you just drift, half asleep, half aware, trusting the universe to do its thing. And then, you realize something. This is the deep, ancient calm before everything changes. In human life, these moments are rare, a split second before the alarm, the hush before a storm, the breath before you hit send on a risky text. Here, it stretches for thousands of years. There's beauty in this pause, the kind of beauty that can only be found when nothing is expected and nothing is demanded. So, float a little longer. Let the quiet fill you. Allow the stardust to settle gently on your mind. Soon enough, gravity will call you to action. But for now, you're part of the silence, the ultimate prequel to every star, every story, and every light you'll ever see. Now, gravity shows up. You know gravity, it's the thing that keeps your leftovers glued to your hips, but out here, it's got bigger ambitions. Suddenly, the cloud you're in starts pulling itself together. You're pressed gently by invisible hands, like a cosmic weighted blanket with trust issues, as gravity refuses to take no for an answer. At first, it's subtle, just the faintest nudge, like your mattress trying to lure you back in on a Monday morning. The molecules around you, which have been ignoring each other for eons, start to look a little closer, get a little cozier, drift together in a slow spiraling dance. It's like the universe's version of speed dating, except nobody has any idea what they're signing up for, and everyone's intro line is, "I contain 13.8 billion years of unresolved issues." You're not falling, exactly, but you're not quite floating anymore either. The whole cloud is shrinking, squeezing in on itself, and you're being carried along for the ride. Imagine being in a ball pit where someone slowly turns up the gravity, and suddenly every ball is magnetically attracted to every other ball. There's nowhere to hide, and, in a weird way, nowhere else you'd rather be. It's oddly reassuring to know that even out here something wants you. With each passing millennium, don't worry, time moves differently when you're made of hydrogen. The tug gets stronger, dust grains collide and stick together. Cold gas contracts, growing denser and heavier, like every unread email in your inbox gathering mass until it becomes impossible to ignore. You're pressed closer to your neighbors. Personal space? Forget it. This is the opposite of social distancing, a gravitational group hug that just keeps tightening. The cloud grows smaller, denser, and warmer. You can almost hear the subtle creaking of physics at work, the way your apartment pipes groan in the middle of the night, except on a scale that makes every bad plumbing job look trivial. Around you, the temperature begins to climb. There's no sun here yet, but the energy of being squeezed this tightly starts to show. Molecules jostle and ricochet with new urgency, and the darkness thickens into a soft, glowing haze. If you listen closely, you can almost hear gravity pitching its case, again and again, like an enthusiastic sales rep who refuses to leave your porch until you've signed up for at least a century's worth of direct debit. Don't you want to be something bigger? Don't you want to ignite, to shine? Trust me, kid, you've got potential. Gravity is relentless, persuasive, and, let's face it, just a little bit smug. You start to feel the pressure everywhere. It's not painful, more like a tight, full-body embrace from a friend who doesn't know their own strength. Your edges blur. Everything is warmer, heavier, more intense. This is the moment before transformation, the cosmic equivalent of being squished into a group selfie you didn't want, but will one day look back on and think, wow, we really glowed up. Stray thoughts drift in. What if gravity gets tired? Spoiler, it never does. What if you collapse too soon or too late? Can a future star experience stage fright? You try to keep calm, but gravity is already in your DMs, gently but insistently, telling you it's time to let go and see what you might become. Outside, the world is changing. The cloud is growing opaque, hiding you from the universe's prying eyes. You're safe in the darkness, surrounded by billions of your closest friends and soon-to-be rivals, all being pulled toward the same fate. You're part of something bigger now, part of a slow-motion avalanche that will, given enough time, ignite with the light of 1,000 billion suns. And as you're squeezed tighter and tighter, you realize gravity always gets what it wants, and tonight, what it wants is you. As the cloud collapses, things get warm and awkward. Picture every bad group hug you've ever endured, except it lasts for millions of years. The pressure builds. Gas molecules bounce around. If space had a scent, this would be it. You start to wonder, do stars ever get embarrassed by how much gas is involved in their birth? There's no getting around it. You're in the midst of a full-scale cosmic squeeze, and subtlety is out the airlock. Every atom, every molecule, every speck of dust is being pressed tighter and tighter, the way you might try to close an overstuffed suitcase with one knee while negotiating with the zipper. But there's no zipper here, just the relentless hug of gravity and an increasing sense that your personal space is a fond, distant memory. The temperature's climbing. Not turn down the thermostat warm, but your entire being is a microwave burrito warm. Trapped inside this shrinking cloud, the heat can't escape. You feel it in every direction at once, a slow, building intensity that never quite peaks, just gets hotter, denser, and somehow more personal. Atoms start bouncing off each other with newfound energy ricocheting through the haze. You wonder if this is what being inside a popcorn kernel feels like in the seconds before it explodes. And the gas, oh the gas. Hydrogen and helium molecules collide and rebound, sometimes fusing, sometimes just rattling around with all the grace of someone awkwardly shuffling past you in a narrow hallway. Every molecule is jostling for space, and there's no ventilation. If you could smell it, this would be the universe's grand debut of Ode to Big Bang. Sharp, metallic, and definitely not safe for date night. There's a kind of cosmic music to it all, a background symphony of whooshes, thuds, and the occasional hiss. If you could listen in, you'd swear you heard the universe giggling every time a dense knot of gas lets off a little pfft of escaping energy. Welcome to the original soundtrack of stellar birth, part orchestra, part whoopee cushion. It's a weird kind of intimacy, being compressed from all sides by the stuff of future stars and planets, knowing that your next-door neighbor could become the core of a Jupiter-sized planet. There's a lot of bumping, a lot of shoving, and not a single molecule is following proper etiquette. At this point, the cloud is dense enough to block out all outside light, a thick private cocoon where your transformation is nobody's business but gravity's. And, of course, there's the embarrassment. How could there not be? You're about to become a star, the centerpiece of solar systems, and yet your origin story is frankly gassy. There's more hot air involved in stellar formation than in the comments section of your favorite news website. If stars kept diaries, half the pages would be about awkward compression and the strange noises nobody wants to talk about. But this is all part of the process. Without all this squeezing and shuffling, there'd be no spark, no ignition, no new light. All that pent-up gas and pressure is just the universe's way of making sure you're ready for your debut. The awkwardness, the temperature, the slightly alarming density, it's what separates future stars from the clouds that just drift forever. Eventually, the pressure and heat get high enough that you feel something stirring deep inside. Hydrogen atoms, pressed together so tightly they can't help but fuse, start releasing bursts of energy. It's the first flicker of what will become your stellar core, the tiny, secret fire at the heart of every Sunday. And as you lie there, squished and simmering, surrounded by cosmic flatulence and existential heat, you realize this is how stars are born. Not in a blaze of instant glory, but in a drawn-out, slightly embarrassing marathon of compression, confusion, and enough gas to fuel 1,000 lifetimes of awkward silences. So embrace it. After all, every star, even the brightest, began with a little pressure, a lot of patience, and more gas than anyone likes to admit. Welcome to your awkward adolescence as a proto-star. You're not quite a star, but not a cloud anymore, basically, the cosmic equivalent of middle school. You're heating up, glowing faintly, and giving off energy like someone who drank 3 espressos and is now questioning all their life choices. It's an in-between stage, and you can feel it. The gravitational squeeze that pulled you out of your molecular cloud comfort zone has forced you into this new, unsure existence. You're lumpier than you'd like, running hot and cold, not sure which direction your core should face. You're a cosmic work in progress, the kind of kid who wears socks with sandals and still thinks glitter glue is a viable fashion statement. Out here, there's no one to judge, but if there were, you'd be acutely aware of your weird glow. Protostars shine in a way that's not quite sunlight, more like the fridge light at 2 a.m., illuminating only what you're embarrassed to admit you're still holding on to. You're leaking energy as infrared radiation, the universe's version of flop sweat. But hey, at least you're not invisible anymore. In the depths of your nursery cloud, you're beginning to stand out. You're still hungry, insatiably so. You're vacuuming up stray dust, gas, and anything else within gravitational reach. It's a celestial, all-you-can-eat buffet, and you have no shame. Every bite makes you denser, hotter, and a bit more stable. But let's be honest, you're still nowhere near star material. Your gravity is doing all the work, dragging in leftovers from every direction. It's messy, it's chaotic, and it's entirely necessary. If you could step outside yourself, not recommended at these temperatures, you'd see your growing disk, a swirling halo of raw materials spinning around you, full of future drama and cosmic potential. If you listen close, you might catch the faint hiss of infalling gas, like cosmic ramen noodles being slurped from all directions. Every piece you swallow helps fuel the next stage, your eventual glow-up. But right now, it's awkward. Your core isn't hot enough to start true nuclear fusion, but it's trying, really trying. The pressure is mounting, and sometimes you just radiate frustration. Some of your energy escapes as jets from your poles, twin beams shooting out into the void like the universe's worst attempt at jazz hands. It's flashy, a bit desperate, and oddly beautiful. You don't get much privacy either. Other protostars are forming all around you, each one dealing with their own cosmic issues. Some are bigger, some smaller, but all are radiating the same "I'm figuring it out" energy. Every so often, a shock wave from a distant supernova comes rolling through the nursery, shoving gas in your direction or sending a new rival into your orbit. It's a cosmic group project, and you're just trying not to get ejected from the cloud. You'll spend thousands, sometimes millions of years in this state, oscillating between hope and anxiety. Will you grow up to be a majestic blue giant, dazzling the universe? Or a shy little red dwarf, happy to mind your own business for trillions of years? You have no idea. Nobody does. The universe is notoriously vague about career guidance. What you do know is that you're changing. Every day, every hour, your core gets a little hotter, your glow a little brighter. The chaos around you starts to clear, and for the first time, you feel the stirrings of something huge within, the promise of nuclear fusion. It's a milestone, a rite of passage, the ultimate coming-of-age story only you're powered by physics, not hormones. And someday soon, all this awkwardness will be worth it. For now, you can rest easy, knowing that even the most awkward in-between stages are a vital part of the universe's plan. Shine on, you strange, unfinished thing. Your true glow-up is just around the corner. Now you're spinning, pulling material into a flat disk around you. It's like living in a perpetual pizza toss, with dust and rocks swirling so fast you can't Marie Kondo your way out. Everything is chaos, but at least you're the center of attention, even if it's just to gravity and a few trillion grains of cosmic dust. You're not just glowing anymore, you're multitasking. Your whole existence is now a cosmic reorganization project, and, spoiler alert, you're not getting your security deposit back. Around you, billions of tiny particles zip and dart in every direction, crashing and colliding, joining the never-ending traffic jam that is your protoplanetary disk. There's no order, no color-coded bins, just an endless supply of clutter and a universal law that says, keep spinning or get out. It's strangely satisfying, though. With every revolution, you sweep more material inward, vacuuming up the loose ends that gravity can't resist. You're like the Roomba of your nebula, except instead of running into furniture, you're collecting future planets, asteroids, comets, and cosmic crumbs. Your disk grows denser at the center, your own version of that mysterious pile of laundry that keeps reappearing on the chair in your bedroom. The physics is relentless. Every piece of dust you snag adds to your spin, making you flatten out more and more, until you're basically the galactic pancake everyone's talking about. In the middle, you're hottest and densest. At the edge, things are cooler, slower, and frankly, less invested. If you could see yourself, you'd look like a glowing pancake covered in space glitter, a mess, but an important mess. You might think this is a solo performance, but it's more like an ongoing, out-of-control dance party. Occasionally, a chunk of rock takes a wild detour and slams into the disk, sending up a puff of stardust and a gentle thud you can almost feel. Sometimes, two dust clumps decide to stick together, starting the long, complicated relationship that might one day turn them into a planet or moon. Mostly, though, it's just chaos. Beautiful, unfiltered, never-ending chaos. If you listen closely, you might hear the soft hiss and pop of collisions, like popcorn that's forgotten to stop popping. Every sound is muffled by the density of the dust, but there's a low, cosmic rhythm to it all. It's a lullaby of motion, a gentle reminder that creation is messy, loud, and not at all the pristine scene you see on science posters. The disk blocks out the outside universe, hiding your clumsy growth from prying eyes. It's your own little sanctuary, a sacred spinning mess. Meanwhile, your magnetic field starts getting involved, stirring up charged particles and launching them along your poles in shimmering jets. It's the universe's version of turning on the ceiling fan and hoping the air clears, except this fan sends matter light years away, creating pillars and knots that will haunt astronomers' telescopes for millennia. You don't mind. If anything, you feel a little dramatic after all. You're in your formative years, and drama is part of the process. The wildest part? You're not alone. All around you, other newborn stars are going through the same disk-driven identity crisis. Some have bigger disks, some smaller. Some spin so fast they practically fling material back out into space, like a washing machine on the fritz. You feel a kinship with them, a cosmic support group for entities that just can't keep it tidy. And yet, somehow, out of this chaos comes order. The densest clumps start to settle into neat little orbits, each one holding onto its own little slice of the mess. The disk thins out, but the memories remain, scratches, dents, scars, and the lingering knowledge that every new world, every new possibility, started with a room that would never pass inspection. In the end, you realize, perfection isn't the goal. In the spinning, shifting chaos, you are growing, organizing, and, in your own wild way, creating something that will last for billions of years. So let the dust swirl, let the rocks tumble. Some messes are meant to become miracles. Inside your core, things get hot, like all the heating pads in Costco hot. Here, hydrogen atoms are forced to fuse, releasing mind-bending amounts of energy. It's the original power-up, the universe's cheat code. If you ever wondered what it feels like to have nuclear fusion in your heart, it's equal parts exhilarating and a little alarming. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Your stellar, coming online, deep in your center. Gravity has squeezed you until you can't take it anymore, until even the atoms start feeling socially anxious. Temperatures soar to millions of degrees. Pressures are so intense they'd make your group chat drama seem relaxing. Here, in the silence and darkness, the impossible finally happens. Hydrogen nuclei protons start to slam together so hard they actually stick, forming helium and kicking out energy as they go. You probably don't remember the day you got your first cell phone, but you will remember this. In an instant, you go from simply glowing to shining. Fusion is your grand unlock. The moment you become self-sufficient, it's like the first time you paid rent with your own money, except the bill is balance between gravitational collapse and explosive expansion. You're not just powered by outside forces anymore. You're generating your own light, your own heat, your own cosmic identity. The energy flows outward, escaping from your core in a frantic, bouncing, zigzag marathon. Each photon gets battered around for tens of thousands of years, yes, years before it finally reaches your surface and escapes into space as visible light. No wonder starlight feels a little tired by the time it gets to Earth. It's been through more delays and reroutes than a red-eye flight in bad weather. If you could experience it directly, fusion would feel both satisfying and a little dangerous, like sitting on a firecracker that never quite explodes. There's a constant battle raging in your core. Gravity pulls in, fusion pushes out. If either side wins, the whole show's over. But for now, you've found the sweet spot equilibrium. It's like the perfect hammock nap, except your entire being is on the line. You become more stable, your surface smooths out, your magnetic fields quiet down, at least a little, and you radiate with a kind of confidence you never knew you had. This is what stars are made of, the perfect balance between destructive forces and creative fire. You're now a main sequence star, the Goldilocks zone of cosmic existence. Not too cold, not too hot, not too dramatic, just right. The side effects are impressive. You are now emitting more energy per second than 1 billion nuclear bombs. If anyone asks, yes, you glow naturally, there's no makeup involved. You are, for all practical purposes, the universe's original influencer, and all the planets, comets, and future alien civilizations will spend eternity orbiting your vibe. Meanwhile, you might be wondering, is this dangerous? Well, yes and no. Without this process, there would be no light, no warmth, no life. With it, you're basically a contained nuclear detonation that lasts billions of years. It's not the safest gig, but it's certainly the most spectacular. And, just for the record, you handle it all with a composure that would make any Hollywood action star jealous. From this point on, you'll keep fusing, keep shining, keep sending your energy out into the void. Every single second, trillions of atoms in your core become helium, lighting up the galaxy and gently toasting anything that dares to drift too close. It's a miracle, a marathon, and a midlife crisis all at once. So enjoy it. You've made it to the heart of the universe's greatest magic trick. You are now, officially, a source of light. Not bad for a ball of gas, with commitment issues. Congratulations, you've made it. The fusion fire stabilizes, and you shine for the first time. It's your cosmic debut, no stage fright, just pure, relentless energy radiating into the universe. You're basically a walking, talking inspirational quote, except with 1027 watts of power. This is the moment the universe has been waiting for, even if nobody brought flowers or made a TikTok about it. You're not a cloud, not a protostar, not a cosmic maybe someday. You're an actual, bona fide star. Somewhere, countless light years away, future civilizations will look up, see your light, and wonder if you have a name. Spoiler, you don't, unless some scientist on a rocky little planet gets bored with a telescope. The sensation is hard to describe. Imagine finally waking up from the world's longest nap, stretching in all directions at once, and realizing your every breath is a pulse of light. Your surface sizzles, a sphere of plasma so bright that darkness can't even remember what it felt like. You're the reason night has a definition at all. If you could grin, you would, but instead, you just radiate. Not bad for something that started as a slightly anxious blob of hydrogen. You're confident now, and a little bit smug. The energy pouring from your core flows out effortlessly, like someone who finally figured out their true calling after years of bad side gigs. There's no more wobbling, no more will, I won't I. You've hit your stride. You shine at a steady rate every second. A million new photons break free, racing outward on a journey that could take them across the galaxy or straight into the retina of a very confused astronomer. Your first light isn't just a local phenomenon. It pushes away the remnants of your birth cocoon, sweeping up dust, gas, and interstellar drama in a burst called a stellar wind. You're cleaning your room by throwing everything out the window, and honestly, it works. The space around you clears, and you finally get a good look at the universe. It's big, it's strange, and good news, you're one of the reasons it's lit up. Other baby stars peek out nearby, each glowing in their own awkward way. Some are bigger, some smaller, some destined to live fast and explode spectacularly, others content to simmer quietly for trillions of years. It's a cosmic graduating class, with you right in the thick of it, your light blending into the sparkling mess of a star cluster. Out here, you're never really alone, but you've never been more yourself. And what about your legacy? Every photon you emit becomes part of someone else's story. Your ultraviolet rays trigger the chemistry that makes planets, atmospheres, and maybe even future life. Your gravity shapes the orbits of rocks and gas, turning leftovers into worlds and moons and comets. Your light sets the cosmic clock days, seasons, even the rhythms of future cities are tied to your shining. You might start to wonder if this is it. Is being a star all about burning bright, melting hydrogen, and photobombing the galaxy? Well, yes and no. There's a certain peacefulness in being constant, in showing up every day or every cosmic blink, and doing your job. You're a reference point, an anchor, the cosmic equivalent of the friend who always brings snacks and never forgets your birthday. There's no applause, no curtain call, just the endless pulse of energy and the soft, satisfying knowledge that you are now and will be for billions of years a beacon in the darkness. Somewhere, someone will wish on your light, not knowing you spent most of your early years surrounded by cosmic dust bunnies. So shine on, burn steadily. You're the reason the universe isn't just empty, cold, and dark. You are, quite literally, a star. New stars can't stop giving. Solar winds blast out in all directions, blowing away leftover dust like the world's most dramatic hairdryer. You can't control it. Suddenly, you understand why your cat stares at the vacuum in terror. It's hard being this powerful and this messy. Picture it. You're finally glowing, basking in the confidence of your brand new stellar status, and just as you settle into your main sequence groove, you realize you're making a mess. Not a little one either. We're talking cosmic spring cleaning, but instead of tossing out a few broken pencils and mismatched socks, you're ejecting 1 billion tons of gas and charged particles every second. The universe didn't give you a manual for this. You're figuring it out as you go, and apparently shedding is just part of the experience. Solar wind is what happens when your surface gets so hot millions of degrees if you're counting that atoms can't hold on to their electrons anymore. They break up, forming a soup of protons and electrons, a plasma with commitment issues. This plasma doesn't want to stick around. It's got places to be, people to ionize, magnetic fields to disrupt, so it streams away from you, faster than your Wi-Fi drops during a thunderstorm. You're radiating, glowing, and constantly exfoliating. Streams of particles shoot outward, carrying bits of you into the emptiness, where they might crash into a dust grain, slam into a nearby planet, or just keep traveling for light years. The effect is wild. Your solar wind sweeps up the remaining bits of your nursery, clearing out the foggy leftovers from your creation. You're Marie Kondoing the whole solar system, even if you never asked for the job. And it's not quiet either. If space could transmit sound, you'd hear a constant howling roar, the white noise of particles in a never-ending gale. You're the star equivalent of someone vacuuming at 3 a.m., blissfully unaware that every planet, asteroid, and comet is now ducking for cover. Solar wind is relentless, dramatic, and, if you're honest, a little satisfying. You're the reason space weather exists. It turns out this shedding isn't just chaos, it's crucial. Your solar wind shapes the environment around you, pushing back the haze of interstellar gas, and carving out a bubble, your very own space, called a heliosphere. Nothing gets in unless you say so. Think of it as a force field, except it's powered by your inability to keep things tidy. Every now and then, you get a little extra excited, maybe a surge of energy in your magnetic field or a hiccup in your rotation, and you send out a flare, a burst of particles that races through space at ridiculous speeds. Somewhere, on a distant planet, this might trigger auroras, magnetic light shows rippling through the skies, as if your cosmic hairdryer also doubles as a party planner. It's dramatic, unpredictable, and kind of beautiful. Of course, there's a cost to all this generosity. The solar wind slowly eats away at you, chipping off tiny bits of mass. But don't panic at your size. You can keep this up for billions of years before anyone even notices. It's the ultimate low-maintenance beauty routine. Shine, shed, repeat. For the planets that will eventually form around you, your wind is both a gift and a threat. It strips away atmospheres, shapes magnetic fields, and sometimes fries unlucky surfaces. Somewhere out there, a tiny rock is quietly resenting you for ruining its day, but hey, that's just part of being a star. You give light, you give warmth, and you give a little bit of yourself every single second. So, as you whip the dust into orbits, sweep the leftovers out into deep space, and blast your neighborhood with the world's most enthusiastic hairdryer, just remember, messy can be marvelous. And sometimes, the greatest power is knowing that you'll always leave a little bit of yourself behind. As your winds clear out your nursery, what's left behind is a shell of gas and dust, swirling and sparkling. Some of it forms planets, asteroids, or comets, basically. You're leaving behind the ultimate cosmic afterparty. Ever wondered if the sun has FOMO? Now you know. It's oddly satisfying in a messy way. You, a brand new star, have just done what every host dreams of, thrown a party so wild that the cleanup becomes legendary. The nebula where you were born is now a chaotic dance floor of swirling fragments and luminous clouds drifting in lazy spirals. There's no DJ, no strobe light, but you get the sense that everything here is buzzing with leftover energy. You watch as the leftovers start organizing themselves, sort of. Gravity's still working overtime, scooping up gas and dust, tugging at the scattered pieces. Clumps form. The densest bits get together, start spinning, and before you know it, you've accidentally started a planetary construction site. There's a hint of pride and a hint of dread. Will these leftovers become something beautiful, or will they spend the next billion years clogging up your orbit like cosmic junk mail? The process is slow. It's not like in movies where planets just pop into existence in a burst of CGI glory. Instead, it's a patient, endless shuffle, grains of dust colliding, sticking, breaking apart, and starting over. If you've ever watched a bunch of toddlers trying to assemble IKEA furniture, you know the vibe. Eventually, some of these bits grow big enough to earn the title planetesimal. They're small, rocky, and not quite ready for the main event, but they have potential. Meanwhile, your solar wind keeps pushing the lightest, fluffiest material to the outer edges, where it will either gather into icy comets or just keep drifting, quietly, like the confetti that never gets vacuumed up. Some of these icy leftovers will later make dramatic returns as comets, showing off flashy tails and swinging by for a quick hello every few centuries. Others will drift away forever, heading for the galactic suburbs. Closer to home, the biggest clumps become planets. Some grow up to be gas giants, big, loud, and difficult to ignore, like the extroverts of your system. Others are small and rocky, stubbornly orbiting close, taking whatever warmth you're willing to give. Occasionally, a planetesimal gets too cocky, collides with a neighbor, and shatters into asteroids, a cosmic reminder that ambition is good, but timing is everything. There's a lot of jostling, plenty of drama, and more than a few near misses. Moons form from the rubble, either captured by planets or thrown together by lucky accidents. Asteroids collect in belts, quietly plotting their next collision or close encounter. You can almost hear them whispering, "Remember when we were just dust?" Now, some of them will be ingredients for future worlds, or the unlucky ones will crash into newborn planets, leaving craters as their calling cards. All the while, you sit at the center, basking in your own glow, watching your handiwork spiral and sparkle. Maybe you feel a little envious that you don't get to travel with your planets, comets, and asteroids. Maybe you worry they'll forget about you while they're out there, dodging each other and occasionally inventing life. But take comfort. Your light, your warmth, and your gravity are what brought all this together. The after-party may scatter, but every orbit, every moonlit night, every icy comet is a tribute to your chaotic, creative beginnings. And if you're wondering if you'll ever see them again, just remember out here, everything is connected. Your planets, asteroids, and comets will spend billions of years circling back, spinning stories, and sometimes sending a postcard made of ice and dust straight into your corona. The after-party never really ends. It just becomes the story of a solar system. Let's pause and imagine. What if you'd been born bigger, much bigger? Massive stars burn hotter, live faster, and explode more dramatically. It's the cosmic equivalent of being both the prom king and the cautionary tale. Would you want to burn out or fade away? Giant stars are the universe's headline makers, the ones with all the drama and all the flair. If you're a massive star, there's no middle management in your future. You're born into the fast lane, destined for a life that's short, brilliant, and frankly exhausting. Think of the most intense person you know, the one who does everything at double speed and throws parties that end with the neighbors calling the authorities. That's you, except you're made of plasma, and your parties involve nuclear fusion on a scale that would void every warranty. From your very first moments, everything is dialed up to 11. Your core temperatures make hot yoga seem like an ice bath. You fuse hydrogen to helium at a breakneck pace, and then, because you're never satisfied, you start fusing heavier and heavier elements: carbon, oxygen, silicon, all the way to iron, like a cosmic overachiever who keeps adding extracurriculars. You shine thousands or even millions of times brighter than a regular star, lighting up the galaxy and throwing off so much energy that you can blow away the clouds around you before anyone else even gets their metaphorical shoes on. It's glamorous, but it's also relentless. Giant stars don't get to take it slow. While a modest star like the Sun can coast for billions of years, you get a few million, maybe 10 if you're lucky. Your days are filled with the kind of internal drama that would make reality TV producers weep with joy. Layers upon layers of burning shells, each one fusing different elements, each one a ticking clock. All that burning, all that brilliance, but the clock is always running down. The wildest part? Everyone notices you. Your ultraviolet radiation sculpts the landscape of your stellar nursery, pushing gas clouds aside, triggering new waves of star formation, and occasionally blasting any unfortunate planets into early retirement. You don't just join the party, you set the theme, crash the snacks table, and leave with everyone talking. Astronomers call you an OB star or a blue giant, but your friends just call you the reason sunscreen was invented. But there's a catch. Burn that hot, live that fast, and you know the ending won't be subtle. When you run out of fuel, you don't just fizzle out, you go supernova, a titanic explosion so intense it can briefly outshine your entire galaxy. It's not a gentle exit. It's more like going viral for all the wrong reasons. Sudden, dazzling, and completely impossible to ignore. You scatter your insides across the cosmos, seeding the next generation of stars, planets, and maybe future sleep-deprived civilizations. Some giant stars leave behind black holes, objects so mysterious, not even light can escape their gravitational pull. Others become neutron stars, spinning so fast they send out radio beacons like galactic lighthouses. Either way, your legacy is dramatic and complicated, a cosmic lesson in the price of brilliance. So, would you want to be a giant star? Would you choose flash over longevity, impact over anonymity? Some days maybe. There's something appealing about being the main character, burning bright, and knowing you'll be remembered if only as the reason there's a nebula shaped vaguely like a rubber duck. But remember, not every star wants to rule the dance floor. Some prefer a quieter, steadier light, content to watch the drama from a safe orbit. Whatever you choose, know that in the universe's eyes, both fates are valid. Whether you burn out or fade away, you'll leave your mark on the cosmos, literally written in stardust. Or maybe you're a red dwarf, small, dim, but weirdly long-lived, the introverts of the universe. If you're tired of attention, this is the star for you. You'll outlast everyone else, quietly shining, while the cosmos parties itself into oblivion. Being a red dwarf means never having to worry about the spotlight. You're the wallflower at the galactic dance, quietly sipping space punch while the massive stars throw themselves across the room with a kind of reckless abandon that looks exhausting even from here. Your glow is soft, gentle, less like a floodlight, more like the comforting nightlight you wish you'd kept after age 6. You're easy to miss in a crowd, and that's exactly how you like it. Nobody's writing songs about you. No one's naming constellations after your subtle shimmer. But while the big stars are burning out and blowing up in a blaze of glory, you're still at the edge of the dance floor, humming to yourself, content to just keep shining. You're the master of cosmic longevity, burning your hydrogen slowly, efficiently, with the kind of patience that makes Earth's oldest tortoises look like adrenaline junkies. Red dwarfs don't live for millions of years. They live for trillions. That's right. If you became a red dwarf, you'd be around long after most galaxies have used up their gas, after supernovas have gone out of style, after the wildest cosmic parties have become ancient gossip. You'll see the rise and fall of worlds, the birth and death of civilizations, the slow cooling of the universe itself. You're basically the friend who never leaves the group chat, even when everyone else has moved on to some new app. Your lifestyle is low drama. You don't waste energy. You burn so steadily, in fact, that you rarely experience flares or tantrums. The only real excitement comes when you decide to randomly brighten for a few hours or days your version of going out for karaoke before going right back to your books and your tea. Other than that, it's a lot of peaceful, shining, uninterrupted solitude and the quiet satisfaction of knowing you'll outlast all the show-offs. If you had planets, they'd probably huddle in close, real close. Your warmth is gentle, so anyone hoping to catch a sunbeam has to be practically hugging your surface. Planets in a red dwarf system have the ultimate work-from-home commute. Always on the same side, always staring into your mellow, steady glow. Maybe it's a little monotonous, but it's cozy, a long, quiet season without any sudden surprises. And here's the real twist. Although you're the most common type of star in the galaxy, most observers barely notice you. Red dwarfs make up the backbone of the cosmos, but their subtlety is their strength. You don't need constant applause. You don't crave the big finale. You're more about the quiet persistence of being showing up, day after day, era after era, eon after eon. When the universe finally winds down, when the galaxies dim and fade, when even the memory of blue giants is a half-remembered legend, you'll still be here, radiating away with that soft, reddish glow. It's the ultimate slow burn, the cosmic equivalent of a candle that never quite goes out, lighting the final chapters of the universe's story. Would you choose it, a life of near invisibility, but ultimate endurance? For some, it sounds boring. For others, it's the dream. No drama, no burnout, just endless time to shine gently and see it all. So if you're the kind who prefers a quiet night in to a wild night out, congratulations, you're cosmic royalty. In the long run, you're the last light left on. What's it like to be born with a twin or two? Binary and multiple star systems are the universe's original sitcoms. You'll orbit each other, swap material, and occasionally throw a tantrum that can be seen from 1,000 light years away. Space really is one big family group chat. Forget the myth of the solitary star shining alone in the night. In reality, most stars are paired up, tripping through the cosmos in duos or trios, locked in an eternal cosmic dance. If you thought sharing a room with your sibling was hard, try being gravitationally chained together for billions of years. You can't just move out. There's no college application, no job transfer, no way to mute their texts. You are, for better or worse, roommates for life. It starts off simple enough. Two baby stars, proto-twins forming from the same collapsing cloud, caught in each other's orbit almost from the beginning. You grow up together, pulling and tugging, each one the center of their own little world but forever influenced by the gravity of the other. Sometimes, one star is bigger, sometimes smaller, sometimes you're nearly identical, sometimes you're total opposites. It's the classic odd couple. One's a neat freak, the other's a chaos gremlin with a flair for dramatic outbursts. The fun really begins when you start interacting because gravity, unlike most roommates, doesn't respect boundaries. As you both settle into your orbits, you start swapping material. Sometimes it's subtle, a gentle transfer of outer layers as one star swells and spills over onto the other, like borrowing a hoodie and never giving it back. Other times, it's spectacularly dramatic, gas and plasma whipping from one star to another in great glowing arcs, each tantrum visible across half the galaxy. It's not just an argument, it's a full-on light show. You might think you'd get bored, circling the same star for millions or even billions of years, but the drama never really dies down. If you're both about the same size, you orbit around a shared center, always facing off, keeping things balanced. But if one star is much bigger, it can throw its weight around literally. The smaller star gets dragged along, sometimes slingshotting in wild elliptical paths, like the universe's least cooperative three-legged race. And if you're in a triple system or more, the plot thickens. Now you're not just keeping track of one star's mood swings, but two or three. Orbits become tangled. Alliances shift. Occasionally, someone gets ejected entirely, a stellar sibling storming out and heading for the cosmic highway alone. It's the most extreme version of moving into your own apartment. But there are sweet moments too. Binary stars can support each other. If one star starts to run out of fuel, the other might donate a little mass, letting their partner shine just a little longer. Some pairs go out together in a spectacular double supernova, their last act a coordinated, universe-shaking goodbye. Others live quiet, peaceful lives, orbiting in sync, their rhythms so regular they become nature's most precise clocks. And, of course, there's the effect on everyone else. Planets in a binary system learn to adapt, weaving complex orbits, sometimes basking in the light of two suns, sometimes tumbling through endless, unpredictable seasons. Astronomers on distant worlds look up and see your double sunrise and think, well, at least we're not alone. So what's it like to be a binary star? Sometimes it's a comedy, sometimes a drama, often both. There are arguments, collaborations, quiet days, and wild, luminous nights. It's complicated, beautiful, and a little bit messy, just like any long relationship. And in the end, whether you're shining alone or as part of a cosmic ensemble, you're still part of the same family chat. Out here, the universe always finds a way to keep things interesting, and nobody ever gets left on read. Starbirth doesn't happen alone. You're part of a crowded nursery giant clouds called nebulae, lit up in all colors. It's noisy, chaotic, and occasionally beautiful. If you've ever lived in an apartment with thin walls, you get the idea. Welcome to the cosmic version of a shared living space, except here, the lease is measured in millions of years, and the neighbors aren't just playing loud music, they're actively fusing hydrogen and tossing solar flares like confetti. You're just one of 1,000 newborn stars squeezed into a celestial nursery, surrounded by dust, gas, and enough radiant drama to keep even the most patient landlord awake. The walls, if you could call them that, are made of glowing clouds, nebulae stretching for dozens of light years in every direction. Each one is a canvas of blues, pinks, greens, and golds, painted by ultraviolet light and the chemical fingerprints of elements you probably can't pronounce without consulting a periodic table. Some nebulae are so dense that light can barely squeeze through, casting deep shadows and hiding whole star clusters in their folds. Others are thin and gossamer, the cosmic equivalent of privacy curtains that never fully close. Everywhere you look, something is happening. One protostar is gathering dust for its next growth spurt. Another is spitting out jets of plasma, drawing attention like a toddler with a kazoo. Somewhere off to the side, a massive blue-white giant is already making trouble, its ultraviolet glare carving out pockets and sending shockwaves through the cloud, stirring up the next wave of star formation. Out here, chaos is the rule, not the exception. You try to get comfortable, but the constant commotion is impossible to ignore. There are gravitational shoves, magnetic tugs, and the occasional outburst of radiation. The cloud vibrates with the gentle rumble of creation stars igniting, matter collapsing, gas heating and cooling. It's the ultimate white noise machine, but with enough low-frequency rumbles to make your chest vibrate. You might as well be living above the busiest subway line in the galaxy. Yet, there's a strange camaraderie in all this. You're not just watching, you're a participant in the grand drama of stellar formation. Sometimes you band together with your closest neighbors, forming small clusters that will spend eons orbiting the galaxy side by side. Other times, you drift apart, carried by gravity and solar winds into your own solo adventures. If you could leave a note on the fridge, it would say, "Gone to orbit, back in a billion years." And then there are the real show-offs, the regions where newborn stars illuminate the clouds from within, creating breathtaking vistas of color and light. These are the nebulae you see on every inspirational calendar and desktop background, a reminder that even in the busiest, messiest neighborhoods, there's room for awe-inspiring beauty. If you ever wondered where the universe keeps its baby photos, it's right here, in the glowing arms of these nurseries. Sometimes, of course, things get out of hand. A nearby supernova might blast through the nursery, lighting up the walls and sweeping away clouds of dust. It's disruptive, loud, and absolutely impossible to sleep through. But in the aftermath, new stars begin to form, and the cycle continues endless, dynamic, and full of surprises. Living in a star nursery means you're never really alone. There's always a neighbor shining a little too brightly, someone new moving in, or an old friend drifting away on a stream of stellar wind. But it also means you're part of something bigger, a community of light, heat, and cosmic history, all growing up together in the ultimate open-plan living space. So next time you gaze at a picture of the Orion Nebula or the Eagle Nebula's famous pillars, remember, you're looking at the universe's wildest, most colorful apartment complex. The rent's high, the walls are thin, but the view? Unbeatable. Older stars make life difficult for the new kids. Their radiation, winds, and explosions stir up the clouds, triggering more star birth or shutting it down. It's the original version of Back in My Day, except with supernovae instead of passive-aggressive notes. Imagine growing up in a neighborhood where every older sibling has the power to completely rearrange the furniture by launching a full-scale energy blast. The stars that came before you are anything but quiet retirees. Their influence ripples through your nursery, shaping the lives and destinies of every newborn star. And they do it with a flair that would make even the strictest parent-teacher association blush. Sometimes the elders play the role of cosmic cheerleaders. Their powerful ultraviolet radiation heats and compresses pockets of gas, encouraging new stars to form. If you could listen closely, you might hear them saying, "A little pressure builds character." These energetic outbursts can create shockwaves that ripple through the cloud, gently, or not so gently, shoving gas and dust into dense knots, the first step in making a whole new generation of stars. It's constructive interference, a little tough love, galactic style. But sometimes, their energy is less supportive parent and more overbearing helicopter guardian. A particularly massive or cranky star can blast away the gas needed for new stars to form, clearing out entire neighborhoods in a fit of stellar overprotection. It's like someone deciding the best way to stop you from sneaking out at night is to bulldoze the whole house. This radiation and wind strip away the raw materials, sometimes leaving nothing but scattered dust and a couple of bewildered planetesimals looking for a new place to crash. And then, of course, there's the supernova, the universe's most dramatic form of feedback. When an older star finally runs out of fuel, it doesn't quietly shuffle off into retirement. Instead, it explodes with a violence that would put even the messiest toddler meltdown to shame. The resulting shockwave travels for dozens of light years, compressing clouds and triggering waves of new star birth in its wake. But it's not all positive. If you're too close, you're toast. Too much of a good thing, as any parent will tell you, can be disastrous. Younger stars adapt the best they can. Some hunker down behind thick clouds of dust, using them as cosmic blackout curtains to shield themselves from the elders' harsh glare. Others ride the shockwaves, using the extra push to speed up their own formation. In the end, it's all about timing and location. Too close to a big, cranky neighbor, and your prospects dim, just far enough away, and you ride their coattails to a dazzling debut. It's not just chaos, it's a feedback loop, a cosmic system of checks and balances. One generation's energy shapes the next, each star leaving an imprint on those that follow. Every region of star formation has its own unique blend of encouragement and sabotage, and no two stellar nurseries look or behave quite the same. You're shaped not just by your own gravity and gas, but by the actions both helpful and destructive of stars that came before you. Sometimes, you might wish things were quieter, that the old stars would mind their own business and let you figure it out. But, as it turns out, the universe prefers a bit of intergenerational drama. Every bright young star owes its existence, in part, to the noisy, energetic, sometimes infuriating influence of its elders. And when it's your turn, when you've burned bright and lived long, you too will become part of this grand cosmic cycle. Maybe you'll trigger a wave of new stars, or maybe you'll clear the neighborhood for the next round. Either way, you'll be part of the universe's endless story, a chapter in the saga of stars parenting stars. Your leftovers become planets, moons, and comets. Sometimes, you're responsible for billions of worlds, each one a cosmic lottery ticket. Ever wanted to be a parent without all the emotional labor? This is your chance. It's the universe's original set it and forget it project. After all the drama of your own birth, you might think you're done. But no, your leftovers are just getting started. Gravity, that relentless project manager, sweeps up the spare dust, gas, and icy bits you shed and turns them into a gallery of cosmic oddballs. Some of these leftovers stick together, clump, and grow until surprise. They've become planets, moons, or comets, with wild orbits and even wilder backstories. You're not micromanaging any of it. There's no bedtime, no college fund, not even a text message. You simply shine and watch as planets assemble from the mess, like unsupervised toddlers building a city out of Lego blocks. Some of your planets will be gas giants, big, flashy, with a flair for drama, attracting dozens of moons and hogging all the attention. Others turn out small and rocky, stubbornly orbiting close, content to mind their own business and occasionally develop atmospheres, mountains, or the occasional viral civilization. Every planet is a little experiment. You might end up with a super Earth, a water world, a hot Jupiter, or a frozen desert with rings prettier than a jewelry store. The rules are simple. If you have enough leftovers, things will collide, merge, and heat up until something sticks. Over millions of years, what started as a chaotic mess becomes an ordered family of worlds, each tracing its own predictable path around your light. Moons join the party, two collected from the debris or formed from the rubble of cosmic collisions. Some are massive enough to pull their own weight. Others are little more than captured asteroids, forever tagging along. They orbit planets, dance through shadow and light, and sometimes put on a show with dazzling eclipses or volcanic fireworks. Nobody sends them an invite, they just find their place and stick around, because gravity doesn't take maybe for an answer. And then there are the comets, icy, eccentric visitors that spend eons in the outer darkness, only to swoop in every once in a while for a dramatic solar flyby. They light up, sprouting brilliant tails as they pass, and then vanish back into the deep freeze. If you ever wondered what it would be like to throw a party and have a guest show up once every 1,000 years, comets are your people. The best part? Planets are endlessly surprising. They might develop swirling storms that last centuries, grow rings from shattered moons, or even under just the right conditions give rise to life. Somewhere, maybe, a rocky world orbits quietly in your habitable zone, growing oceans, mountains, and weird little creatures who will one day look up and wonder who gave them all this sunlight. It's hands-off parenting at its finest. You provide the light, warmth, and a gentle gravitational tug, and let the rest work itself out. Sure, not every planet will become a paradise. Some will stay barren, frozen, or scorched. Others will collide, shatter, and rain down as meteor showers for millennia. But every outcome is a story, each crater, moon, or comet tail, a direct result of your cosmic leftovers. So while you bask in the glow of your own brilliance, remember, your side hustle is as impressive as your main gig. You're not just a star, you're a world builder, an architect of solar systems, a silent partner in the strangest lottery the universe ever invented. You'll never get a thank you card, and you'll never have to chaperone a school dance. Still, every orbit, every eclipse, every planet with a wild tilt and a weirder atmosphere. That's your legacy proof that sometimes the best things come from the leftovers. In rare cases, planets start forming as the star itself is still finishing up. It's like having kids move in before you've even assembled the furniture. The universe is not big on boundaries. Imagine you're still trying to figure yourself out, still glowing awkwardly as a protostar, wobbling through identity crises, radiating confusion, and already, your cosmic roommates are arriving. Dust and rocks begin to stick together in your swirling disk, even before your nuclear engine is properly humming. Tiny worlds gather, jostle, and take shape in the chaos, crashing into each other with all the coordination of puppies in a cardboard box. It's hectic. Your core isn't even fully ignited, and out in the disk, you've already got planetesimals, baby planets in training, forming alliances, starting rivalries, and carving out their own little territories. Some future Jupiter is hogging all the gas, while rocky wannabes scramble for leftovers, and icy outcasts drift toward the far edges, dreaming of comets. There's no order. No one's in charge. It's the original cosmic co-op, and you, the star, can only watch as the drama unfolds. No one sends a welcome letter. You don't even have a front door yet. Some planets start to form so close, they're practically crowding your personal space, orbiting within a few million miles of your surface. Others stay out on the periphery, only visiting on rare, highly elliptical orbits. Sometimes, they get so close that your stellar winds strip away their atmospheres before they even have a chance to settle in. If you've ever tried to set up a new apartment while your friends help by assembling furniture with only half the instructions, you know the feeling. In these rare, wild systems, everything happens fast. Disks can go from thick and murky to thin, and ordered in just a few million years, a blink of an eye, cosmically speaking. Some planets gobble up material quickly, growing massive and dominant before the star has even reached its full brightness. Others are left with scraps, forced to hustle just to earn a respectable orbit. Occasionally, a rogue planetesimal gets yeeted entirely out of the system, destined to wander interstellar space, forever telling the story of its weird, chaotic home. It's a delicate dance. Your newborn planets have to navigate not just the gravity of you, their not quite finished parent star, but also each other. Collisions are common. Some worlds fuse together, building bigger, weirder planets. Others smash apart, scattering debris in dramatic rings or asteroid belts. It's messy, noisy, and often violent, less of a family reunion, more of a demolition derby. And all the while, you, the future star at the center, are still gathering mass, still tightening your core, still working on your fusion glow-up. Sometimes, Your own birth pangs disrupt your disk, sending shockwaves that jostle the planets and rearrange the neighborhood. Other times, the disk fades quietly as your stellar winds blow away the last of the dust, leaving behind only the most persistent planets, moons, and rings. The result? A system where star and planets are forever linked by shared origins and shared chaos. Maybe your planets will end up weirdly close, locked in resonant orbits that make astronomers on distant worlds scratch their heads. Maybe your system will look nothing like the tidy diagrams in science textbooks, a wild tangle of worlds that grew up together before the paint was even dry on their home star. In the end, it all works out, just maybe not neatly. You, the star, become the steady center your planets never quite asked for but can't live without. And your planets, however quirky, will always remember the day they moved in, before the light bulbs were screwed in, and before you'd even finished glowing up. It's chaotic, it's crowded, and it's absolutely cosmic. Out here, even unfinished stars can make room for a few worlds, whether they're ready or not. Occasionally, rogue stars or stray clouds barge in, stirring up trouble. Imagine your delivery app driver showing up inside your living room, then deciding to stick around. Nothing is safe from cosmic chaos. There you are, growing up in your bustling star nursery, learning to spin, shine, and manage the local dust population, when suddenly, the door bursts open and the unexpected guest arrives. Maybe it's a runaway star booted out of some distant binary system, or maybe it's a wandering cloud of gas, minding its own business until gravity led it astray. Whatever the culprit, the effect is always the same: instant disruption. The rogue star is the ultimate cosmic wildcard. It barrels into your nebula with all the grace of someone arriving at a dinner party uninvited, snacks in one hand, chaos in the other. It doesn't care about the local traffic patterns. It just muscles its way in, dragging its own gravity, radiation, and occasionally a few stunned planets in tow. The entire nursery has to readjust. Stars shift their orbits. Gas clouds compress or scatter. It's like musical chairs, but the music never stops, and the chairs are always moving. Or perhaps it's a giant molecular cloud, cold and dense, floating in from some other galactic region. It blends in at first, but pretty soon you notice the local temperature dropping, the lights getting dimmer, and a subtle tension building in the cloud. It's the kind of guest that takes over your couch, changes your playlist, and quietly turns the thermostat down without asking. Suddenly, the whole nursery is stirred up, pockets of gas collapse, and a new burst of stars may begin to form. The status quo is out the window. The chaos isn't always gentle. When massive objects pass close by, their gravitational pull can fling entire stars out of the nursery at breakneck speeds, like hitting the cosmic eject button. Others might capture loose planets, giving them new homes and new orbits, often so tilted and lopsided they look like they're in witness protection. Some stars even end up swapping material, building weird hybrid clouds that are part local, part visitor, proof that in the universe, even your molecules can have an identity crisis. And for the locals, it's a lot to process. Your carefully cultivated protoplanetary disk might get shredded by tidal forces, or enriched with new dust and elements, or just flung halfway across the nebula in a fit of gravitational peak. Some planets survive. Others are lost forever, wandering the galaxy as free agents, never quite belonging anywhere else. Astronomers call them rogue planets. You'd probably call them cosmic orphans or galactic hitchhikers. Sometimes the visitor is more subtle, just a gentle drift, a cloud brushing against the outskirts of your neighborhood, triggering a slow-motion domino effect of starbirth, shock waves, and gentle stirring. Other times, it's a full-on collision, two nurseries merging in a burst of light and soundless commotion, their combined chaos birthing a whole generation of stars in record time. No matter how it happens, one thing's for sure: the nursery will never be the same again. It's hard not to feel a little invaded, a little shaken up. You might long for the old, quiet days when the only drama came from your next-door binary stars. But deep down, you know that this is the universe's way. Nothing stays the same for long. Out here, new arrivals mean new stories, new stars, and new possibilities. Every collision, every disruption, every awkward visit ends up leaving its mark, sometimes literally, as clouds of gas and dust twist into new shapes, new colors, new beginnings. So next time a rogue star barrels into your neighborhood, or a stray cloud settles in and stirs up the place, take a breath if you had lungs, that is, and remember, sometimes the biggest messes are the ones that lead to the most brilliant new stars. Eventually, every star changes. Fuel runs low, and you expand or shrink. Some stars become red giants, puffing up dramatically. Others shrink and fade. It's like menopause, but you glow red and sometimes explode. Nobody warns you about this stage. You're cruising along, fusing hydrogen like it's your day job, because scientifically it is, and then suddenly you notice things aren't quite as bright as they used to be. Your core feels sluggish. You're a little short on hydrogen, and every fusion reaction seems to take just a bit more effort. The existential dread sets in. Am I running out of gas? Is this the beginning of the end? Welcome to the cosmic midlife crisis, where stars get weird. For the average star, the first symptom is swelling, no gym membership required. Your outer layers start to expand. Before you know it, you've puffed up to hundreds of times your original size. Planets that once orbited safely are now getting swallowed whole. It's dramatic, it's unplanned, and it would make a great plot for a reality TV show. You turn into a red giant, big, bold, and slightly unstable, radiating your feelings in deep red. Mood swings? Absolutely. Your brightness goes up and down. Sometimes you lose your outer layers entirely, casting them off into space in a fit of stellar melodrama. And if you're a smaller star, well, you get to skip the expansion phase, but your fate is no less awkward. You shrink, slowly losing heat and fading away, turning into a dim white dwarf, the ultimate cosmic Irish exit. No grand finale, just a gradual fade out, like leaving a party without saying goodbye and hoping nobody notices until it's too late to call you a cab. The weirdness doesn't stop there. Some stars, especially the more massive ones, get creative with their crises. When the hydrogen's gone, they start burning helium, then carbon, oxygen, and on down the periodic table. Each new fuel brings a fresh round of swelling and shrinking, with the occasional burst of instability. Inside your core, elements are being forged in layers like a cosmic onion, each one hotter and denser than the last. You're multitasking so hard, it would make any parent of triplets jealous. All the while you shed material, winds blow, shells of gas drift away, and sometimes you launch a planetary nebula, a glowing cloud that hangs in space, beautiful and mysterious, like the cosmic version of an elaborate midlife tattoo. Other stars just let it all go in a final, breathtaking supernova, scattering their guts across the galaxy with zero regard for cleanup. If you think the human midlife crisis is wild, you haven't seen what a supergiant can do with a little instability and a lot of built-up pressure. No matter the details, change is guaranteed. You might spend millions of years in this state, oscillating between confidence and confusion, expansion and collapse, light and shadow. The universe doesn't offer therapy for stars, but it does offer catharsis. Every transformation, every outburst, every nebula or nova is a way for you to leave a mark, to say, I was here, I shone, and I changed. And, honestly, that's the magic. All those elements you shed, carbon, oxygen, iron, end up as the raw material for future stars, planets, and maybe even life. Your midlife crisis seeds the galaxy, spreading stardust everywhere. It's messy, unpredictable, and a little scary, but it's how the universe renews itself. So, as you glow red or shrink away, remember, the midlife crisis isn't the end. It's just a new beginning, one more chapter in a star's long, strange story, and proof that change, no matter how awkward, is always cosmic. If you're massive enough, you'll end your life in a supernova, a cosmic detonation that lights up galaxies. Forget retirement parties, this is the universe's answer to going viral. Let's be honest, some stars just can't resist making a scene, while smaller stars quietly fade into white dwarfs and slip away into obscurity. You, the overachiever, the drama magnet, decide to go out in a literal blaze of glory. You've spent millions of years burning hot, fusing elements in your core, dazzling every planet and comet in your orbit, and now it's time for your final act. And what an act, it island. The setup is wild. For ages, you've been stacking elements in your core like a cosmic game of Jenga. Hydrogen into helium, helium into carbon, carbon into oxygen, layer after burning layer. But iron is your limit. It's the cosmic showstopper. Once your core is mostly iron, there's nowhere left to go. No more energy, no more fusion, gravity. That relentless backstage manager senses your weakness and goes for the big finale. Suddenly, the core collapses fast. In a fraction of a second, your core shrinks, atoms smashing together with a force so violent it sends a shockwave out through your layers. You don't just explode, you obliterate. Your outer shell is hurled into space at thousands of kilometers per second. The flash is so bright, it can outshine an entire galaxy, turning night into day on planets unlucky or lucky enough to be nearby. If aliens are taking selfies on the other side of the Milky Way, your supernova is photobombing them. It's not just light and noise though, this is creation in reverse. All those heavy elements you worked so hard to forge, gold, silver, uranium, are flung into the galaxy in an instant, scattering your stardust across the cosmos. Every atom of iron in your blood, every gold ring, every rare element on Earth was born in a supernova. You're not just a star anymore. You're the universe's ultimate content creator, making the raw ingredients for planets, life, and maybe even future sleep-deprived scriptwriters. It's wild, it's messy, and it's the ultimate cosmic flex. For a few weeks or months, your shattered remains glow with radioactive energy, a supernova remnant that astronomers will photograph for centuries, wondering if you ever got stage fright. Your legacy: beautiful glowing clouds, shockwaves that trigger new rounds of star birth, and a black hole or neutron star at your core, one last cosmic mystery left behind for future explorers. And here's the truly absurd part: you're not alone. Galaxies are littered with the remnants of these stellar fireworks. Some supernovae even happen in pairs when a white dwarf borrows too much mass from a neighbor and explodes in a fit of cosmic codependency. No matter the details, every supernova is a reset button, wiping the slate clean and seeding the galaxy with new possibilities. So yes, your retirement plan is become a cloud of stardust and possibly a black hole. Not exactly low-key. But think about it. You'll be remembered not just for your brilliance, but for your generosity. Your last act gives the galaxy everything it needs to start over. It's more than just an exit. It's an encore. Is it risky? Absolutely. Not every massive star pulls it off with grace. But if you ever wanted proof that the universe loves drama, just look at a supernova. You're not just going out with a bang. You're making sure everyone hears it. So rest easy. If your path ends in a supernova, know that your story doesn't stop. It just explodes into 1,000 new ones. Not a bad way to go viral, right? Smaller stars fade away into white dwarfs, silent, hot cinders cooling for trillions of years. If you've ever tried Irish goodbying a party, you'll relate. Sometimes, the best exit is a quiet one. After billions of years of burning bright, you feel it, your fuel is running low, and the wildest days are behind you. But there's no panic, no dramatic explosion, no need to alert the group chat. Instead, you let go with subtlety and grace, the ultimate cosmic soft close. You swell into a gentle red giant, shedding your outer layers in shimmering, glowing shells. They drift away into space, like the cosmic version of leaving your favorite sweater behind at a friend's house, gone, but not forgotten. What's left is you, a tiny, dense core, still hot from all that long-ago fusion, but no longer burning, a white dwarf. About the size of Earth, but with the mass of the sun packed in so dense that a teaspoonful would weigh as much as a mountain. You're not making any more light, not starting new elements, just radiating the warmth you have left. It's a slow, dignified process, the universe's version of curling up with a good book and letting the world go on without you. White dwarfs are subtle. You won't find them headlining any galactic events or going viral on space TikTok. They don't explode, they don't throw tantrums. They simply glow, quietly and steadily, gradually cooling for billions, yes, billions of years. It's the ultimate long goodbye. If patience is a virtue, white dwarfs are the saints of the cosmos. You can almost picture it, floating through the vast darkness, a small glowing ember among the stars. You're not cold yet, but every year you shine a little less brightly. Your light is soft, pale, and comforting like the lamp you leave on when you want to fall asleep, but not in total darkness. Around you, your discarded nebula drifts away, its filaments scattering across the galaxy, mixing with other clouds to make new stars, new worlds, new stories. You're part of the cycle, but your days of drama are over. Some white dwarfs have a companion, another star, orbiting nearby. Sometimes, they quietly steal a little material from their neighbor, just enough to keep the spark alive. But if they get greedy and take too much, they might reignite in a dramatic burst called a Type Ia supernova. Even the quietest star has a hidden wild side. But most white dwarfs simply fade, undisturbed, for trillions of years. You might wonder, what happens at the very end? After all that cooling, after the last faint whisper of heat escapes, you become a black dwarf, a perfectly cold, perfectly dark remnant. No one's ever seen one. The universe isn't old enough. Black dwarfs are legend, the final punctuation in the story of stars, the ultimate, thanks for coming, drive safe. It's a quiet legacy, but a powerful one. White dwarfs are everywhere, scattered throughout the Milky Way, marking where countless suns once shone. Some will wander the galaxy forever, tiny anchors in the dark. Others will drift into the void, companions to nothing but memory. And maybe that's the lesson. Not every story needs a supernova, not every ending needs applause. Sometimes fading gently into the night is the greatest gift of all, leaving space for new stars to rise, new dreams to burn bright, and new listeners to fall asleep to the gentle glow of cosmic embers. So, if you find yourself drawn to quiet exits and subtle farewells, remember, in the universe, as in life, the quietest endings can be the most enduring. Sometimes, the leftovers collapse into black holes or neutron stars, objects so weird, even physicists lose sleep. The cosmic equivalent of your weird uncle, who only shows up at family reunions, but everyone keeps talking about him for decades. Let's start with neutron stars. Imagine taking the mass of the sun and squeezing it down until it's no bigger than a city about 20 kilometers across. The density is so extreme that the protons and electrons inside atoms are forced to merge, becoming neutrons. You're left with a giant atomic nucleus, spinning at dizzying speeds. Some neutron stars spin so fast, they complete a full rotation dozens or even hundreds of times every second. They send out beams of radiation from their magnetic poles like cosmic lighthouses, only with more existential dread. We call these spinning neutron stars pulsars. They blink on and off as their beams sweep past Earth, regular as clockwork. Astronomers once mistook them for signals from aliens. That's how peculiar they are, so regular, so unyielding, so odd that even the most sensible scientists briefly considered little green men before reluctantly settling on physics. But the real headline grabber? Black holes? These are the true wild cards of stellar evolution. If a star is massive enough, when it collapses at the end of its life, it doesn't stop at neutron star density. Gravity keeps squeezing, and there's nothing, literally nothing, that can resist. The core implodes, creating a singularity, a point of infinite density, wrapped in an event horizon, a surface from which not even light can escape. What does that mean for you? Imagine throwing a going-away party so effective that not even your memories can get out. Once anything crosses the event horizon, matter, light, space, time, it's gone, cut off from the rest of the universe. Information goes in, but it doesn't come back out. And even the universe's best physicists are still arguing about what happens next. Is it lost forever? Is it stored in some cosmic backup drive? Nobody knows, and black holes aren't talking. These objects aren't just mysteries, they're cosmic disruptors. Neutron stars can collide with each other, releasing gravitational waves that ripple across space-time, ringing the universe like a bell. Black holes can merge too, growing larger and larger, sometimes lurking quietly at the centers of galaxies, sometimes swallowing unlucky stars, gas, and entire planetary systems. If you get too close, your fate is sealed. The laws of physics themselves get fuzzy at the edge. Even light has to check its GPS and admit defeat. Yet, somehow, black holes and neutron stars are also oddly generous. They seed galaxies with energy and heavy elements. They shape star clusters, stir up gas clouds, and occasionally, in a twist that even science fiction writers find hard to believe, may launch entire stars out of the galaxy. And while they're born from stellar death, their presence means the story is never really over, just changed, transformed, left open-ended. The best part? We've only just begun to understand them. With every new discovery, gravitational waves, X-ray flares, gamma-ray bursts, black holes and neutron stars rewrite what we think we know about the universe. They're the plot twists nobody saw coming, the odd relatives who make every family gathering more interesting, the unresolved storylines that keep scientists and insomniac YouTubers up at night. So if you find yourself drawn to the strangest corners of science, remember, in the end, every star is capable of a little mystery. Some fade quietly, some explode, and a rare few go on to become the universe's most unforgettable enigmas. If you're lucky, you'll leave them wondering for eons to come. When stars die, their material returns to the galaxy, mixing into new clouds and birthing new stars. Everything gets recycled. You're literally made of ancient stardust, an idea that's more comforting than any sleep app. Think about it. Every breath you take, every cell in your body, every molecule in your bones was once part of something much, much older. Maybe a supernova that went off billions of years ago, scattering calcium, iron, carbon, and oxygen through the Milky Way. Maybe a gentle red giant, puffing away its outer layers in a last bright sigh. All of it returned to the interstellar medium, floating through the galaxy, drifting for eons until gravity swept it up again and again, making new clouds, new stars, new planets, and eventually, you. It's the universe's original recycling program, and it never stops running. Stars aren't just one-and-done affairs, they're cosmic composters, giving their mass, their light, their heavy elements back to the galaxy every time they live, burn, and die. Every atom in your body has taken part in this endless process, cycling through suns, planets, comets, even passing nebulae and interstellar dust bunnies that drift through the dark for millions of years before finding their way into something new. It's weirdly intimate to think about. The calcium in your teeth? Supernova stuff. The iron in your blood? Forged in a dying star's core. The oxygen you breathe, blown out in the last moments of a red giant's life. You're not just from the Earth. You're from everywhere, every era, every explosion, every quiet, drifting cloud that ever wandered across the Milky Way. If atoms kept diaries, yours would be full of the wildest travel stories. And the cycle never ends. Even now, somewhere out in space, stars are dying and giving birth to new generations. There remains gas, dust, complex molecules mixed together, gathering into clouds that cool, collapse, and ignite, lighting up the galaxy all over again. Planets form from the leftovers, sometimes becoming home to oceans, forests, and cities, other times staying frozen and quiet, waiting for their turn in the spotlight. You might picture the universe as an endless series of beginnings and endings. But really, it's all remix. Matter is always on the move, always changing hands. In the time it takes for a single star to live and die, a cloud of gas might birth dozens more stars, each one lighting up the night for a new world, a new story. And every time, a little bit more of you and everything you know gets woven into the next chapter. It's a comforting kind of immortality. You don't need to be famous or remembered or even noticed by the rest of the galaxy. Just by existing, you're part of something far bigger and older than yourself. You're a walking, talking constellation of cosmic history, proof that the universe never wastes anything. Your atoms have been everywhere, seen everything, and they'll keep going long after this particular arrangement is done. So next time you feel small or fleeting or overwhelmed by the scale of it all, remember, you're Stardust. You always were, you always will be. The circle never ends. Your story is stitched into the fabric of every future star, every future planet, every dream that comes to life in the darkness. And tonight, as you drift off, you can rest easy knowing that your journey isn't just a single path, it's a cosmic relay. The atoms in your hands and heart will keep going, making new worlds, new stars, new possibilities, forever. Would you remember your past? Would you notice anything different? Does the hydrogen atom have nostalgia? Tonight, you get to ponder these questions while floating through clouds of cosmic déjà vu. It's one of the universe's most peculiar riddles. Every atom, every speck of dust, every particle that makes up stars, planets, and even you has been part of countless stories before. Atoms don't keep diaries. There's no celestial lost and found for wayward electrons. But if there was, can you imagine the entries? Day 2.3 billion, drifted through an interstellar cloud, hung out with carbon, missed those supernova parties, hope to get fused again soon. Maybe the feeling isn't memory, but resonance, a faint tug of recognition, as you, a hydrogen atom, tumble through a new nebula, heading for your next starring role. Maybe there's a flash of something familiar, a pressure that reminds you of another collapse, another time you helped ignite a Sunday. You wouldn't know why, but there's comfort in the routine. The universe doesn't deal in nostalgia, but it's very, very good at remixing the past. Imagine waking up as Stardust for the 1000th time. You drift for millions of years, bumping into strangers caught in gravity's gentle net. Maybe you join a molecular cloud, waiting eons for a nudge, a shockwave from a distant supernova, a squeeze from a passing star. Then, at last, the familiar compression. Gas swirls, pressure rises, and you're swept along in the slow-motion chaos of star birth. The process is the same, but every star, every system is unique. New neighbors, new scenery, new chance to shine. Would you recognize the moment of fusion in your core? Would some part of you remember what it felt like to burn bright, to send photons sailing into the void, to become the sunlight for a million worlds? Or would it all feel new, just another round of the universe's favorite game? There's no evidence hydrogen feels anything, no scientific proof of atomic déjà vu. But there's a certain beauty in the idea that every piece of you is endlessly recycled, made fresh each time, with a cosmic welcome back mat set out at every transformation. And maybe, just maybe, if stars could dream, they'd sometimes catch a flicker of another sky, a memory of a world they once lit, a planet that watched their light rise and set, a galaxy that spun around their glow. If a star could remember, would it miss the planets that circled close, the comets that visited, the clouds that birthed it? Would it feel pride in the elements it helped make, or wonder at how far its atoms had traveled? For all we know, the universe doesn't care about nostalgia, but humans do. We love the idea that our atoms have stories, that the stuff of our bones and breath once belonged to stars, and will again. Maybe in the dark of night, you feel that connection, a sense of belonging that stretches beyond your own life, into the endless cycles of creation and rebirth. Tonight, you float in that space between questions and answers, part of the grand relay of matter and energy. The journey from dust to star to dust again isn't just a process, it's a cosmic tradition, a rhythm older than memory itself. So close your eyes and imagine, if you woke up as a star again, would you know? Would you recognize the warmth, the light, the gravity of 1,000 lives before? Or would you simply shine, content to play your part in the universe's endless encore? No questions asked, no memories needed, just light, warmth, and the quiet certainty that you belong. After all, in the universe's long memory, nothing is ever really lost. Every atom is just waiting for its next encore. As you drift off to sleep, remember, the atoms in your body were born in stars. Every cell, every breath, every memory is a piece of cosmic history. The universe is not just out there. It's you, funny, weird, and quietly brilliant, shining in the dark. Pause for a moment and let that actually sink in. Your heartbeat is the echo of ancient nuclear fusion. Your bones are laced with calcium that was forged in the core of a dying sun long before your favorite playlist was ever created. The iron in your blood once pulsed in a supernova. The oxygen you're breathing right now traveled through a nebula before Earth was even a dream. You are the afterparty of 1,000,000 cosmic events, the final remix in an endless dance of matter and light. It's easy, sometimes, to forget. Modern life is full of distractions, deadlines, phone chargers, misplaced socks, mysterious leftovers in the fridge. But in the hush of night, when the world slows down, there's room to remember. You're made from the same stuff as the stars, and you're playing your part in the universe's endless story, whether you're aware of it or not. Science might call you a collection of particles, a temporary arrangement of stardust and chemistry. But if you zoom out just a bit way out, you're a living galaxy of memories, dreams, and daily absurdities. There's starlight woven into your laugh, cosmic dust sprinkled through your routines. The atoms in your body will eventually move on, to become part of someone else's story, or maybe something even stranger, a comet, a planet, a future star, or maybe just a really persistent dust bunny under a space couch. Think of all the improbable, chaotic events that led to you. Supernovas lighting up the sky, dust clouds swirling into new worlds, the gentle pressure of gravity, and the wild, persistent urge of the universe to try something new. Out of all that, here you are on a tiny spinning planet, wrapped in a blanket, listening to the story of your own origins drifting gently towards sleep. And as you close your eyes, let yourself feel just a little bit star-like. Not in the influencer sense, no need for followers or fancy filters. Just that deep glowing certainty that you belong here, exactly as you are. You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to assemble your atoms in any particular way. The universe already did the hard part, and now you get to just exist. Shine in your own way, weird and wonderful, in a cosmos that has room for everything from black holes to birthday candles. If you ever feel lost or small, remember that the universe doesn't waste energy on things that don't matter. You're here for a reason, even if that reason is just to witness the astonishing beauty of a starry night, to breathe deeply, or to fall asleep listening to the gentle hum of cosmic nonsense. So tonight, as your thoughts soften and your breathing slows, let go of worries and wanderings. Trust the universe's process, messy, magnificent, and always unfinished. Feel the gravity holding you close, the earth spinning gently beneath you, and the ancient starlight flickering somewhere in your cells. You are stardust, no assembly required. A miracle of physics, chemistry, and chance tucked safely under the stars. Sleep well, you little piece of cosmic history. The universe is brighter because you're in it. So tonight, as you start to fade out, maybe half listening, maybe fully adrift, just remember where you've been. You've floated through freezing, silent clouds, got squished by gravity's relentless group hug, spun through cosmic turbulence, and ignited with the quiet fire of nuclear fusion. You've witnessed the universe at its most creative and most chaotic, and survived more interstellar drama than a decade's worth of reality TV. All of that, And you didn't even have to put on pants. And here's the secret that astronomers, poets, and your yoga instructor all agree on: you are stardust. Literally. Every atom in your body was once inside a star, fused in the heart of something brighter and older than any Monday morning you've ever survived. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you're breathing in and out, it all came from stars being born, living, and dying. The universe is a circle, not a straight line, and you're part of its oldest story. So tonight, maybe whisper a quiet thank you to physics for keeping your molecules from collapsing, your body from drifting into the vacuum, and your thoughts from turning entirely into plasma. Maybe be grateful for the gentle gravity that keeps you grounded, the air that stays right where you need it, and the warm bed that doesn't try to explode into a supernova every 10 billion years. Sleep easy knowing that science may be strange, sometimes terrifying, and always hilarious. But it's also proof that humans, like stars, are resilient, curious, and just the right amount of ridiculous. You're not just stardust, you're stardust with Wi-Fi. Good night, sleep tight, and may your dreams be as weird and wonderful as the universe that made you.